I'm surrounded here by greatness. My good friend DJ Prosper. How you doing, bro?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. I'm doing
Yes,
good,
sir.
Mr. Ray. You know, this is like our Shay Shay or Ottawa Shay Shay. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Hey, man. Hey, thanks. Welcome to
Yeah,
Represents. First of all, I'm really happy, you took the time to sit down with me, have a little conversation, and see the great things you're doing in the city. So listen, let's get to it, man.
absolutely.
You've
Let's
been
go.
you've been in the entertainment industry for many years, like 20 plus years. You opened up for
Mm,
for celebrities such as Ashanti. I believe it was the
mm.
Ruff Ryder tour. You've done
Yeah,
amazing things for as long as
yeah.
I've known you. You've always been involved in entertaining crowds and
Mm,
just uplifting crowds. When did you find out that's what you were meant to do?
man. Uh, man, when did I find out that it was meant to be? I gotta go back, man.
Go
And
back.
I'm probably gonna reveal my age doing that, but
Hey,
I
man.
have to say, the first feeling when I was like, wow, in terms of performance and seeing the reaction of a crowd was, and I'll never forget, is my uncle, man, my uncle and my aunt, man. Rest in peace to my uncle. Actually, he just passed away in December,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
and man, every year he would conduct like New Year's Eve parties at his house. And I was 7 years old. I was 7 or 8 years old or so. And he was like, yo, I don't care. You're gonna do a little dance in front of all these people. And man, in my small little age, it felt like there was about 500 plus people in that house. And there was probably, I don't know, maybe 100. I don't know, right? But to me, it was like, whoa. And I did the Michael Jackson, Billie Jeans routine. I knew that whole 25th anniversary Michael Jackson, Billie Jeans for the people that never seen it. Go to YouTube, you'll see it.
do your
You know,
Googles.
that Motown celebration, Billie Jean's routine. I knew it by heart as a little kid, and I did that dance, and I was like, wow. You know what I mean? When I got the whole reaction feeling, I was hooked. I was really hooked into the whole entertainment aspect of Michael Jackson. That caught me. But and then fast forward, really when I saw the click, it was probably in high school, in one of the talent shows.
Okay.
One of the talent shows that I did with a bunch of guys, and I did a whole routine and stuff, and the whole high school went bananas. And that's when one of the guys from that, I was in grade 9 at the time, and a grade 12 came and it's like, "Yo, Prosper, man, you're a crowd motivator." And then I was like, "Ooh, I kind of like
Like
that." Prosper the crowd motivator, and then that always stuck to me the whole time. So that I would say it was about that time.
okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So listen. So for Michael Jackson, for performing in
Mm,
front of high school crowds. So
mm.
you're a father of three. Congratulations, first of all. You're a podcaster. You're
Yeah.
official DJ for the Ottawa Senators. You're a radio
Mm,
host. You're a business
mm.
owner. When do you sleep and
Absolutely.
what's your success to managing time? Can you tell us,
Oh
share with us the
man,
secrets, man?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Tell you the truth, I mean, now the whole fatherhood thing, it happened from 0 to 100, right? I mean, just yesterday I was, just a married man, 16 years, and trying to conceive, and we had infertility issues and everything.
Hmm.
And during the pandemic, we decided to adopt. So we went through the whole programming, the whole situation of it all, in order to be qualified to be like some kind of in a list or candidate to be able to adopt. So now, while this is happening, all the business ventures are happening with myself and my wife, right? So, and the openings was going on, right? During the pandemic, I had an open door to partner with my boy Sully from Toronto, and boom, I came out with my own
Your
shoe
shoe.
line. And then after that, right? And then after that, during we Mel and I, we co-own like a huge playground company. People don't know that, but it's like we're on a company called Dynamo Playgrounds, and what they do is they do innovation playgrounds around the world.
Hmm.
It's like it's crazy, and it's not just regular swings here and there. It's like all futuristic designing kind of things going on, and all of that with us not having children. For some reason, we've always had some kind of connection, even in my shows, right? In my shows and my DJing with the Ottawa Senators, kids are just flooding the platform all the time and everything and all that stuff. And then last year, 2022, we just got that call. We got that call out of nowhere to say, hey, we got something for you guys. Would you guys consider? Would you guys consider? Man, their siblings, they're wonderful children. They're 9 and 8 years old, blah blah blah. And at the times we were just looking for one child, and but when God calls you to something, you got to obey, and we looked at each other's and we were like, well, we're in a situation where there's nothing that is unselfish that gives us that no answer. When you say, oh, we don't have the space or the finances and this and that, those were not the answers to a no. The answers to a no would be something like, oh, my comfort zone, or you know what I
Hmm.
mean? I'm good with this, the lifestyle that I live, da da da. So when we felt that way, we decided to go for it. We went for it. And there's a process, right? In order for the kids to be used to you, blah blah blah, and then to move in. And as soon as they moved in, a week later, we got pregnant. You know,
That's
so
when I heard the news, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful story, man. But congratulations.
oh
I'm
man,
so happy for you guys.
it's crazy, and it's crazy, and any blessings doesn't come easy all the time, right? So now to go back to your question, now everything is like, I'm still trying to adjust. I'm still trying to adapt to the whole new lifestyle of it all, and to try to tap into everything that I do. Right now, I'm like kind of like in mat leaves, like something got to give. You know what I mean? Something got to give out of everything that I do, right? So I still tap in with the Ottawa Senators, even though I took a break as well with that too.
Okay.
But I'm back at it now too. A little bit more gradual than usual, but I'm back to the Ottawa Senators platform. I'm back on the radio show every Sunday evening from 6 to 9 p.m.
Hmm.
And I still tap in from things here and there, but I'm a little bit of a break, right?
Yeah.
Because guess what? I am not sleeping right now.
You didn't have to tell me. I know.
Right? And it's the newborn right now that is keeping us up and everything. But
Hey,
I don't think there's a secret to it. I don't think there's a secret to it. Everybody got a different type of method and stuff. A lot of people saying, oh, you got to keep grinding. You got to no sleep, no sleep, keep grinding, keep grinding. Yeah, but you got to take care of your health as well, right? And stuff like that, right? And you got to have balance. You got to have balance. And the good thing for me is the fact that my wife is pretty much in the same type of grind that I am
mhm.
as well. So we're partners at it. We're really partners at it. We take turns, we rotate, so whatever sacrifice needs to be done, it's a little bit more easier to get than when you have a partner that is not really about what you do, and they have a hard time to cope with the sacrifice, because at the end of the day, to do all that, it's sacrifice. Something got to give. There's always something that has to be done, right? So it's good to have a partner to be able to have that vision and to understand that better.
Yeah, no, I
And,
we I always definitely saw that between the two of you. A great
Mhm,
partnership, and it takes a great
mhm.
team to be able to do
Yeah,
what you're able to do, and you definitely have that.
absolutely.
So good for you.
Without that,
You,
it's not happening.
so
Absolutely.
listen, you spoke about your shoe. Can you tell me can
Mm,
you tell me about that? It's Prosper 22s, right? Tell me
yeah.
about that. How'd that get started?
Oh man, the way it got started during the pandemic. and it got started during the pandemic where we were called to do actually a podcast like this.
Yep.
And we did a podcast, and they were doing podcasts about entrepreneurship, and couples that are grinding into entrepreneurship, and how it's affecting you during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
What are the methods that you're doing to pivot in order to keep survive as an entrepreneur during the pandemic? And one of the guests after me, or was it after me? No, before me, was a guy that I grew up with, George Sully, and I grew up with him since we were kids, and we kind of lost connection, but we always follow each other's and stuff. And he's an innovative guy that always, you know, was about doing things like having his own magazine, having his own clothing line at a very early age, and then after that he grew to becoming a brand, and Sully Wong, and he has his own shoe line and his own clothing line and his own branding with his wife, and then he made his wife have her own shoe line to do a lot of things with Will Smith and blah 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 and all that stuff, right? And he was the guest before me, and when I went on, he was like on the chat line. He was like, "Yo, Prosper, blah 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 blah." So after that show, we connected. We got on the phone, and it was like time never elapsed. We spoke on the phone. Yeah, we spoke for like 2 hours there, right? And then while we were doing that, we just eating, feeding off each other's, right? He's telling me stuff about his business. I'm telling him stuff about mine, blah, 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 telling him about this history with the Ottawa Senators, da, da, da. And then one time he was just like, man, it would be good that we collaborate on something. Maybe we get one of the players to be doing something with my Sully brand and everything, blah, blah, blah. That's how we started. And then I was like, but listen, yo, I'm DJ Prosper. How about you endorse? We do something together, and we endorse this thing that we could come out with. You know what I mean? And I wasn't really thinking shoes right away, but he's the one that came out with the idea. You know what I mean? He came out with the idea. He came out with the plug, and then it took us like maybe a year and a half to go back and forth with the design, bringing it to China, blah blah blah, and everything, and then that's what all that came about, right? And then
The shoe looks great, by the way. The shoe looks great.
that's when the logo came out, and stuff like this,
Yeah.
and the 22, so, and they were just called the P22, right? So,
It makes sense for you. I mean,
yeah.
it only makes sense. When I saw it the first time, I was like, yeah, it's a logical.
Oh man, yeah. So it's been a good experience. Now I'm tapping into this whole stuff of having your own brand, and how to deal with the marketing aspect of it and all that. That's a whole division of line of work to do that I'm really inspired about. So I'm really taking my time right now for the second release, because there's still some things I liked, some things I didn't like. As a rookie, right? You know what I mean? There's some things that you're like,
Of course.
right? It's kind of like Jordan that didn't really like the Jordan ones at first. You know what I mean? He was like, yo, we need to, you know what I'm saying? So,
It's trying to improve this and that. Yeah, I get you.
yeah, right. And then, yeah, so, yeah, but it's fun though.
That's good. No, I'm happy for you. I'm
Yeah.
glad you spoke about Jordan and shoes. This goes along to my
Mm,
next question, because
mm.
most people know you as, obviously you're an entertainer, but not a lot
Hey.
of people like me know how gifted you are as an athlete. You know, you know.
Ah,
So
man.
you go back. Yeah, I'm giving all your secrets right now.
My man, you're probably the only one, man, that probably
Listen,
bringing me back to the athlete days. People don't know.
people don't know, so let's make sure they
Don't
know
know.
today. Tell us about
So,
those days when you were because for me you could have shined in different sports. I know about football, but I know
mm,
you could have definitely
mhm,
had a career in basketball. But
mm,
tell us about your
yeah.
athletic days.
Oh man, I mean, listen, I think sports was my natural gift from the get go since I was a kid, Sports was my number one love. I was always in sports, so it was always sports and entertainment, always growing up, right? And it was flawless. People don't know that I was at first. I was playing hockey. I was playing competitive hockey. I was in Pee Wee hockey, and in the Quebec side, when you play Pee Wee hockey, it's almost like it's very competitive. It's very in the league, and I was playing for Laval for Pee Wee hockey, and then after that, I moved into Ottawa and realized that hockey was not really a sport for a person of color. For me, I was very I was always the only black guy on the ice and everything and stuff like that. And then that's when I went into a neighborhood. I moved into a neighborhood where all the kids were playing football. I didn't even know about the game of football until I played a couple of flag football games with them, and then they were like, "Whoa, you should get in our team and stuff like that." And then that's how the love of football developed as well. So those were just natural gifts, right? And that was developed in me, and then obviously basketball and the whole nine. You know what I mean? But in terms of where I went further competitively was football.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could have made it to the league in football. When I was 18, I was picked to play in Europe, and that's when Europe back in the I'm talking about 96, 97.
Mhm.
They were trying to bring football overseas, and they had the World Football League that they were going to start with,
To
and
make sure we clarify for the people, we're talking about American football.
American
All right,
football.
let's not get it confused.
Yeah, let's not get it confused. It was American football, so they had like a league over there for all the NFL players, people that couldn't make it in the NFL, and they had to do like in NBA they call it the G League,
Yeah.
or in hockey it's AAA. That league that is that needs the development
Yeah.
before you go pro,
Mhm.
right? So imagine there's people in their 20s, 22, 23, 24 that was out there overseas, and I was like 17, 18 over there, right? And I believe people would know. Who would people would know at the time? Jesse Palmer.
Of
I
course.
don't know if so.
People know him
Jesse
as the
Palmer,
Bachelor, but
The
he
Bachelor,
was
but
a
people don't
football
know that
player, folks.
he's a football player first, a quarterback first. For Syracuse, Florida. Was it Florida? Yeah, he played Florida NCAA for Florida, and he even played for the Giants. And he started one game
That's
for
right.
the New York Giants.
If I'm not
So
mistaken, he's an Ottawa guy as well.
he's an Ottawa guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Ottawa. Now he's in the NBA. Well, he's with the Bachelor and stuff like that. But he's Ottawa, Nepean, Barhaven,
Wow.
straight. So I played with him in Europe a lot, and I played with a lot of players that got like Grey Cup rings right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also I played against Randy Moss one time.
Did you?
You know?
How'd that go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
at the time he wasn't the Randy Moss, but he was this American receiver, man, that was a promised guy from high school that was going to go to Division 1 football, and I was at a camp, and then we played against him at a camp over there. So yeah, and then what? Who else? Biaka Batuka. He's a Montreal native that played for North Carolina Football Panthers. So yeah, and then after that, I dislocated my shoulders. Dislocated my shoulder so many times during the fact that I got recruited. I got recruited in Vanier College in Montreal,
Mhm.
and I had a lot of prospects at the time. Michigan was taking a look at me hard,
Mhm.
and Florida State.
Mhm.
Florida State. And me, my dream in football was really to play Division 1 football
Okay.
in NCAA. Like I never really foreseen NFL, but my goal was to be in like NCAA football.
Yeah.
So I kind of regret it because at the time I was offered to play for Barcelona football, but yet you're 17, 18 years old. You're in your prime. Well, in your prime, the beginning of your prime. You feel like invincible on the field. And I'm like, if I'm getting that kind of offer there, and for me, it was with people that are not making it to the league. I want to make it to NCAA. I'm not staying in Europe. I want to get recruited in order to be in NCAA, da da da. But I had it all. I would have had a contract. I would have had my apartment, condo paid for, this and that and the third. I would have lived that experience. But I wanted to play NCAA, so I went down, and in the camp, I got my shoulder dislocated. Bah! You know what I'm saying? And then I rehab. I went back in it real quick, dislocated it again, and then I had to do a surgery. And then after the surgery, that's when I said, you know what?
I'm gonna stick with the entertainment aspect.
I'm gonna stick with. I think I'm gonna go with music right about now.
It's all good. It was nice.
It's right. It's less painful right now, so I think I'm good.
Sounds like you always had opportunities. Always, made yourself opportunities, and a lot of skills in different sectors. Man, that's amazing. So, listen, what can we expect from you in 2023? Obviously, it's all these great things that you're doing, but what's the next goal? A new shoe, What's up?
Oh man, there's a lot in the horizon right now. We kind of like in the hibernating stage in the lab to actually organize everything up together, because I launched an entertainment company last year. It's called Dynamo Entertainment. So therefore, this is going to be a company that's going to have different layers, a lot of different layers. One of the most important things that we're passionate about is that we're working with some elite people right now that I can't disclose for right now, but people will know. In order for us to open up a Dynamo Academy, which is going to be like a school to develop people that are looking into being creatives, that just don't have the means in order to do such a thing. People like me that knows that inside of us we have this thing, this gift, but we just don't know how to nurture it. So we're talking about right. So we're talking about artist development, placement for acting or dancers or rappers, singers, people that want to be studio engineers, DJs, people that want to be managers and know the business of management and stuff like that. So we're going to develop a program where, that we could have young people to be tapping into locally in order for them to grow their gift and their talent. I've always been passionate about anybody that needed to explore their gifts.
Yeah.
I believe that we all were given a gift by God, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be creatively, but we have a gift, regardless what it is. And I'm an advocate to make sure that people explore that within themselves and get to recognize that. And then once they get to recognize that, work really hard at it in order for the gift to open doors to be great. Everybody got a gift, but a gift is something that you do so easily with your eyes closed that it's hard to realize that it's actually a gift. You know what I mean? It's hard to even recognize that it's a gift. So now you're thinking that, that's nothing. I do that that's nothing, but that's nothing for you. But for the next man, whatever is nothing for you, you know what I mean? The next person cannot do it, right? And then once you flourish that and you work at it, like that's when you become great and not just good at it. So we're passionate about doing that. We're really working hard on doing that, in order to evolve as well, to become some kind of like a sport and entertainment company as well, to place people such as yourself, who's a media mogul now expanding with podcasts. You're doing your podcasting, you're doing your thing as a hobby, but maybe you want to expand for your in order to become, I don't know, an actor or this and that, or an analyst. You never even thought that you could become an analyst, right? So we're working on trying to establish our company to be able to have those kind of clients as well, to place them into places that they never thought that the door would open for them to do it, and we bring in that platform to them. So I'm excited about that. And also,
I'm excited about that. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
And then also the music. The music is always the music, right? I'm always doing music. I'm always recording. I got my studio over here and stuff like that. So I'm gonna expand And also being an Ottawa Senators DJ, which is a blessing from above that I never even thought that would even happen. To be able to every week uh, perform in front of like 18 plus thousand people, you know what I mean? That's like
My brother,
that's like another level.
how do you prepare for that? I was going to ask you what's it like? The adrenaline rush. I know you live off of that. But how you make it look easy, but how do you? I know there's preparation. How do you prepare for that?
Absolutely. There's definitely preparation, and especially now that I've been doing it for more than a couple of years now, I find it a little bit harder. Why? Because if I wanted to, I could just be out there and doing the same thing over and over and over and over, right? But for some reason, I like to expand my horizon and I like to mix up this with that. For those who've never seen me at a Ottawa Senators thing, is the game is like I don't just DJ. I recognize the audience. You know what I mean? So I know that we have people from the 70s, people from the 80s, people from the 60s, people from the 2000s, and people from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really like to mash up my stuff together, and bring tracks that people would never even think that a DJ Prosper would pull out those kind of music, and then you mash it up with stuff that is relevant today. So probably every week I'm in the studio trying to analyze what I could do and what this and that, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And also, I also know that there's a lot of season ticket holders as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they see me all the time. So I don't want to get them tired of me, man. I gotta come with new stuff all the time. You know what I mean?
But I know for you it's a lot of fun. You love the music. Obviously, you love to intonate. So that's a perfect challenge. You're having those different age groups that you need to please, which is a challenge itself. But hey, man, you've been there for years, so obviously something is going well. You're doing something right.
Man, let me tell you, and it was just an experiment by the program director of the Ottawa Senators. What happened was this was not even planned. I never even thought, I even thought to be like, oh, I'm going to become a DJ and then I'm going to pitch to them that it was nothing like that. It was very something random. My nephew is a drummer for a band that was playing at Carleton University, and the show was not necessarily well organized. So he calls me while I'm on the road. He calls me and he's like, "Listen, we have a little dilemma now here." And I told him that I have an uncle that could really get this crowd hyped. The crowd is lame. Nobody's moving and everything. Is it possible for you to come in just to do a little something before we go on to get the crowd ready for us? I was like, what? And it just happened that I had my laptop in the car. And then I was like, yo, you know what? I'm in Saint Laurent right now. The show's at Carleton. Okay, I'll be right there. I got my laptop. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to show up. We'll see what happens. I show up with my laptop. Long story short, I plugged it in. All the lights were on. Everything was unorganized. And then I told the soundman, listen, turn off the lights, plug me in, give me a microphone. I'll take it from there. Right? And then, so I had my DJ program. I had my DJ program on my laptop, and from the microphone, I was kind of like emceeing, and I'm like trying to get the crowd hyped and say. So I did like a battle girls versus guys, and go, yo, listen, what if I play this track? How's that? Bop, and then bop. Then the crowd was interacting, da da da. And then I started doing some kind of like a hype party before the band comes up. Now, needless to say, the people from the Ottawa Senators was at the audience, and they pulled out their phone and they recorded it and they sent it to the director, and they said, "Listen, I don't know who this guy is, but he might be the answer to our problem right now." And their problem was at the time that they wanted to know how they could change the demographic of the type of audience to come to the games, because young people were not going to the games anymore. So they didn't even know my name. They tracked me down from the Carleton University to so and so to so and so. I get a call out of nowhere and they said, "Man, we saw what you did at the Carleton U. Is it possible for you to come to to one of our slow games and try it out?" And then I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out. What is your slow game?" Well, at the time it was a game against Buffalo on the Thursday night, And they said, well, our slow game is like 12,000 people. I'm like, huh? What? I was like, yeah, about 10 to 12,000 people. That's when it's not really too busy. Yo, I was like, what? Are you kidding me right now? Right? So, man, it was an experience. And then, hey, I went to try it, and then I've been an Ottawa Senators DJ ever since,
man. That's amazing story.
Right? It's favor, my friend. It's favor. Hey, it's God, man. That's all I gotta say.
And you know what's funny? So, you have so many stories like that. You know, you just reminded me of how many amazing stories like that. You know, but that's just a testament that you know, there's always someone watching over us, right? So.
Always. You always got to put your best foot forward. It doesn't even matter like what the situation, and it could be in a situation where you're not motivated because exactly there's nobody there or whatever situation that it is that you're doing, you put your best foot forward. You never know who's watching, man, right? You never know. You know what I mean? And that example right there is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Because I've done many shows. I've done many stuff that like sold out stuff and prior to that. And it was one of those unorganized, less than 50 people, 60 people in the audience that got me into becoming some guy to be in a platform every week to 18 plus thousand people, right? So, man, right? You never know who's watching.
So, Prosper, tell me this. What would you tell a young person who sees you, they're motivated by you, they want to, they aspire to do something that, you're doing? What would you tell them? What advice would you
give? Man, I would tell them to, first of all, know the reason why you want to do those things. Is it something that you're seeing on TV that you're inspired by because of the fame, or are you looking for that check? You know what I mean? Are you looking for a way out, or is it really in you? You know what I mean? I would really advocate the fact that if it's not in your DNA, don't do it. You know what I mean? Because the struggles that you got to go through, the heartaches and pain that you're going to go through, are things that you will be able to hang on to if it's in you. You understand? So to find the right reason of why you're doing it would be the number one main thing for you to search in your soul in order to go for it full-fledged. Once you discover that it's in you, there's nothing else that you could do but eat, sleep, and that, and that that you would do it for free. It wouldn't be for living. That is your passion to go for it and never give up. Never give up. I'm pretty up there in age now, right? I'm older than LeBron. For people that, because right now supposedly LeBron is old, and now he's so old. Look at what he's doing.
I need to look at that birth certificate, but that's another story.
But yeah, my point to point that out was the fact that I've been meeting a lot of people at some games from my high school days.
Yeah.
And they seen me doing all of that stuff back in the days as the talent shows and stuff like that. And they're like, oh my gosh, man. And they know where I'm at right now at age. Like, yo, you never gave up. How did you do that? Like, you never let it go. And now look at you. I'm looking at you now. I'm so not surprised. But how did you hang on to it like that, right? And that's when I saw that, and I had to answer that. It's because it's in me. That's my bloodline. That's just what I do. So it's not something about me hanging on to. That's just what I do. So I could be doing it in my basement. Even if I had no platform to do it in my basement, I would still be doing it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I would say to the young man that would want to do
it. That's amazing. I just had a conversation with my brother-in-law not too long ago, and it's the same thing. It's the more I do I have these conversations we exceptional individuals like you is, they want to do, they pursue their passion. There's no quitting in them. That's what they want to do. That's what they're going to do. And, I think that's a great message for all of us, just pursue our passion.
Just pursue, because it's not easy. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of more no's than yeses, a lot of more disappointments than successes as well. But it's just a thing that if it's something that brings you joy every time you do it, man, you know what I mean? Eventually, the doors open up for you.
Hey.
And, and your gifts, and the word says it, the Bible says it, man. Your gifts will make room for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that is the gift that is being given from above. And the reason why it makes room for you is because he needs to show off. So he needs you in order to represent him, so that he could, you could represent the fact that, he gave me that gift to make that room. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's amazing. Hey, man.
Hey.
Prosper, I thank you very much for your time. And,
yes, for sure.
There's no better way to end it like this. It is how I always end the conversations. You learn today and we lead tomorrow. So thank you for your time.
Hey,
and,
let's go. And always live, love, and prosper with everything that you do.
Yes, sir. Thank you, boss.
Go.
I appreciate you. Much love, man.
Yes, sir.
All
love,
right.
my friend.
All right. Thank you, boss.
All right.